Friends, I think some of the most important stories we've explored on Ocean Trek's Conservation Connections are stories that focus in on wildlife conservation, because the truth is, around the world, many animal species and habitats are facing threats, for example, from habitat loss or climate change. One incredible story takes us to Iceland, where we see how marine biologists and conservationists are studying whales to get information to protect them. Iceland's healthy and rich coastal waters are teeming with marine life, including at least a dozen cetacean or whale species. Akureyri is Iceland's top whale-watching destination, and the mighty humpback is the most commonly sighted whale here. These giant marine mammals migrate thousands of miles across the world's oceans, from warm waters of Hawaii and Mexico to the fertile feeding grounds of places like Alaska and Iceland, where their highly coordinated feeding patterns make a fascinating spectacle. What's really awesome is that whale-watching tours have teamed with local scientists to help them study and protect these massive marine mammals. So I've asked my friend Charla from the University of Iceland if I can join her in today's whale research. There's a lot of different species that live in these waters, but specifically we're looking at humpback whales. During the summer months, these waters are brimming with whales because they've come here to feed. What makes the waters of Iceland such an attractant for whales?
So it's a really rich ecosystem around Iceland. The Gulf Stream is coming here. There's a lot of plankton and then a lot of krill and a lot of small fish. And there's a lot of light in the summertime.
So this is the time of plenty. This is the time for feeding. So what specifically, Charla, are you going to be looking for?
I do a lot of work with photo identification of the humpback whales. Also this, we can hear where the whales are.
So out in these waters, we have a number of animals that have been tagged. They actually have a transmitter tag, and Charlotte can actually pick up a signal from these animals with the antenna. This is called radio telemetry. So we can track these creatures to know how deep they're going, where they're going, how important these waters are to their survival. So should we go find some whales?
Absolutely.
All right, let's do it. Nearby tour boats have been watching whales all day, so we know they're in the area. And sure enough,
there's humpback whales over here.
now this is not a huge whale. He's pretty big. I'm gonna guess he's probably around 40, 45 feet in length, but they can range in size anywhere from 45 to 55 feet in length and weigh, oh, there he is, and weigh upwards to 50 tons. Gonna be coming up to take a breath. You can see he's drawing air in through his blowhole. You can see on the top of his back, he's got a little, almost like dorsal fin, but the most important part of his body is the fluke, the back tail. See, there goes the fluke down into the water. Every fluke is different. It's like a human fingerprint, and it's one way that scientists identify the whales that they're studying. What specifically are you targeting?
You're looking at the underneath side of the fluke or the tail. They have a unique black and white pattern, so you can tell the individuals apart.
We can see if you've ever discovered this whale before.
Not that one.
This was more speckledy.
Yep, exactly.
Is that it?
Yep, that looks like that's the one.
And this is white dots.
Exactly.
So white dots is out here feeding. The visual ID becomes valuable data in tracking the habits and behaviors of the incredible humpback. But to better understand their story, researchers like Charla need to listen up. Singing and vocalizing is a big part of their lives, isn't it?
Yep, absolutely.
This right here is a hydrophone, and it actually can pick up the vocalizations of whales. That's very distinctive. This kind of strange, dreamy call sort of resonates. That humming call, that's from a humpback whale. Why would they be singing, vocalizing in these waters now?
Most of the vocalizing that they're doing is associated with feeding. It could also be some socializing as well, since there are other whales in the area.
Sound is a big part of how these animals survive, navigate through their ecosystem, and communicate. How can you use this vocalization in research to better understand these whales?
Yeah, so the different vocalizations can be associated with different behaviors, and then we understand better what the whales are doing here when they're diving and we can't see them.
By getting a window into the world of communication for these whales ultimately gives scientists like yourselves the information we all will need to protect these creatures. It's important to remember that not so long ago, humpbacks were in serious trouble. The good news is that this species is starting to make a comeback around the world. Their populations are robust. They're becoming healthy again because of good conservation. And this conservation success story ultimately plays out when people like us get a chance to make the ultimate whale connection.